Okay, this is episode 9 for real. Doorway. Irving Renquist series finale.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm Dave Grelka. I'm writer and director of this episode. I'm here with...
Michael P. Nowens, executive producer and director of photography.
And
Michelle Higgins, production manager, and the character of Sandra Hedges.
And this is the second half of what was originally shot as a single episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that 7 new messages thing was the hardest thing I had to do on this entire production.
Really?
Because I had everybody on set calling my cell phone. That is my cell phone.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, even though we had like 20 to 30 people calling it and leaving messages, there were only 7 listed on the screen. So we've decided that was the number of messages she had.
Of course.
And I think that is actually the number of messages you hear, so it's okay. But this was another fun thing. These were recorded when we were recording the voiceovers from Brian and Mark for Whiteout.
Yep.
These were recorded in Momcat Studios with John Negus, which was a lot of fun recording these. I love Lonnie here. I can handle it.
I would reverse like that.
And that was me driving. That was Dave's stunt driving there.
You know, what happened to the car here?
Well, we popped the tire because I hit the brakes a little too hard. We actually popped the tire from braking, which I didn't know was possible.
Apparently.
I'm really glad I wasn't on set then.
Well, I mean, every time we did that,
we would have made you fix the tire.
Thank you.
It just did not look like... well, we weren't doubting your ability to fix a tire.
We were just going to put you through, some heavy labor.
It's just like, okay,
Just stand around.
Go production manage me a new tire onto that car.
I can do it.
While you're production managing.
I should put that on my resume. Can production manage a new tire
can
for your
actually
car?
produce a new tire.
Just in case you were wondering.
So, you were saying before we
I don't know what I was saying.
You popped a tire.
Oh yes, we popped it. That was the end of the story, I think. So there we go.
You driving.
Popped a tire.
Yeah,
This was just such a fun night with Mark and the whole just looking grumpy.
Yeah. We had a lot of time to shoot this too, because that was the thing with the series. I shot, of the 9 episodes, I shot 7 of them during the episodes that I directed. Steve Minarzik was the DP, and typically, for shooting most of the series, it was a real challenge to be under such a time restraint. And I remember for this day, I think this was the only thing really we were shooting this day, was here in the backyard, and so we had lots of time to shoot it, and it was just it gave me more time to play with the lighting and everything, and especially doing a shot like this, we were able to spend more time on it. Which
And
was nice.
I love that shot because you see it in the monitor and there. It just
I remember
so much fun.
The biggest chore of the day was making sure we actually had a tape for the video camera, because otherwise it wouldn't work, and none of us had thought of that ahead of time.
Well, it's like the spray paint in the previous episode that none of us thought about, even though it says in the script, spray paints an X on the ground.
Yeah.
So we had to do that. What I really like here is this is my favorite scene with you, Michelle.
Well,
it's one of your few scenes in the series, but this is this only scene where you get to shed the I'm pissed off
Thank you for
ex-girlfriend,
that, by the way.
and you get to deliver one of my favorite monologues, basically in the series. You get the tilting at windmills, my Don Quixote reference here, and it's so much fun to have characters that surprise you like this, because you were a villainous character. Your only function in the early episodes is to be combative.
Yeah, to be the one everyone hates.
Yeah, and then to have you come back like this in a positive role is one of the kind of flips I really like to do in my work, because we don't want anyone to be the obvious villain, although I do think Jerry is unfortunately the obvious villain of this entire series, and he never gets a chance to really be sympathetic, other than the one scene with Dottie where he tries to give her the talk. That's the only real sympathetic moment.
Completely randomly, I just wanted to point this out because I've been asked several times about why I have paint all over my shirt. And I believe it was a backstory that Dave and I created that
Yes.
she's a painter, that this is her stress-relieving activity because she's tightly
Very
coiled.
tightly wound. In 2 weeks, you'd have a diamond.
Thanks, I
That-
think.
Well, not you, Michelle. Sandra Hedges.
Of course. So I think we decided she's a Jackson Pollock type painter.
Yes, a splatter painter. And now, Michelle, since you're here,
Yes.
I would like to talk about how you were not initially
I'd
going
love
to
to talk
be
about that.
Sandra Hedges. So,
Hedges was also first a male. I
oh yeah,
believe.
it was Samson Hedges in the script as we were auditioning.
See, the Samson would work with the long hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but you don't want to play Samson Hedges. You want to play Sandra Hedges.
Well, I know at one point we decided that maybe Sandra was gay, so Samson may have worked.
Did we decide that? I don't
No, we discussed it.
That would work if
I don't know.
know.
But okay.
You know,
But,
gay people
I'll
are
go
not
with it.
men. Gay women are not men. They're just they like women.
Thank you, Dave.
Now we're attacking.
Unless I've been led to believe something that is not true.
Anyways, back to your
But
initial
anyway,
question.
It was Samson Hedges. Then it was another actress that we hired as Sandra Hedges.
Yes, who unfortunately-
the night of shooting episode 3, because that was the first appearance that in shooting order of Sandra Hedges, since one was spread out all the hell through the shooting. We lost the actress,
It was one of
and
my most stressful production managing
Michelle
nights.
was on set
Yes.
during the shoot earlier, and I approached Mike and it's like, well, listen, can we just let's give this to Michelle because she can handle it and she'll do it. And so we walked over to Michelle and we said, so what would you like to do tonight? Would you like to be production manager or would you like to be in the series?
Yeah. I remember the also was, and do you have a suit?
Yes, yes. Can you be business immediately? And so we have some great behind the scenes footage. Oh, one of our wonderful special effects. I love that.
Love that one.
We have some great behind the scenes footage of Michelle and BJ and Brian and Trisha all sitting up in Trisha's bedroom rehearsing a scene before we go over to Cutting Hall to shoot it.
Yes. Which it's an eventful day because you guys approached me about being Sandra. I ran home, took a shower, got ready, ran over to where our costume designer, Lauren Rourke, was babysitting so she could approve my costume and help me with my hair and makeup, and then showed up on set. And then sometime during that, I picked up a fever. I don't know if you guys ever knew this. I had a fever for the rest of that night, so that's why I look a little glassy-eyed at points.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but it was a fun night.
Excuse me. Well, here's our big special effects now here that were shot many months after production wrapped, and that was shot over Thanksgiving weekend because I was out of town when you were shooting that, and you called me from the set to talk about it. But these shots were shot on a different day. They were shot in production, and the actual special effects shots, the ghost shots, were shot much later with Bill and Melanie Stanton.
They were shot second unit with under I believe Morgan actually Morgan.
Morgan directed those,
And I
yeah.
believe
Morgan
Nick
directed those.
Thompson did some
Yeah,
camera work.
he was the cinematographer for that.
So we had a bunch of different things that just simply could not be shot during the series run, and then things just got postponed to be able to do what we needed to do here. But this is the big reveal, the actual we see Jerry kill his wife, and a lot of this was shot was sped up or put backwards, and I pull frames out and these things.
That's a good smack.
Well, it's he's slow motion, and then the actual swing of the smack is in fast motion, so it jumps and speeds, and I really like that. It's just very unnerving in the way it looks and the way it feels here. And this is backwards here, and just strange shot. But I really am very happy with the way those special effects turned out. And a lot of our comments on the board were about the message boards were about how interesting these shots looked. And so we have a pretty harsh murder. Initially, she was stabbed, but I think we went a different way. And I like the brutality of the choking I really like Dottie narrating this scene. She's reliving something horrible from in a fond memory from her past here.
I think, Celeste's choice for music, for scoring for this scene.
Wonderful.
Really brought it to life, which was fantastic. I love the lighting. It's my job as the DP.
Who was sitting on the floor to turn that off?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Possibly Morgan.
It was probably Morgan. Morgan probably hated me.
We had a lot of.
I was like, "Hey, Morgan, can you do this?"
Hot.
This is one of my big regrets of the series. Rewatching it is when Dottie tells them to go, they just go. I mean, that's a big thing. That's the kind of thing you say. No. Oh, here's our insert shot, and that's my hand finding this skull here.
Creepy.
This was shot in my garage in a box.
Yep. Hey.
2 days before the release.
Yeah, these are shot in two different locations, completely different locations.
2 different days.
If you look at the leaves, you can tell.
One's a willow and one's, I don't know, something else.
Something willow-like.
Now we're all of a sudden at the same location.
Yeah. He stood up into another backyard. Now this scene was a logistic nightmare. We had to we drew out diagrams to talk through where everyone was going to be, mainly because Michelle was only available on a one day, and we had the rest of the backyard stuff on another day. And then certain people had to leave earlier, like Angela and Brian had to be out of there earlier than the
Because I
rest.
believe Angela was actually working 2 or 3 jobs while we were filming this.
And she'd work till 4 or 5 in the morning, and then come back and work with us. Mm-hmm. And so we just put people around here, and Mike had it all in his head the entire time, just like, okay, now we have this shot. Okay, now this person's over here, and there's not a single shot in here, I don't think, that violates the 180 rule, which
that
is
was a big thing in the production
absolutely
meetings.
Amazing that we were able to do that for this crazy scene. Was that a boom drop?
That was a boom.
Wow, how do we miss that? But that's I think one of the only ones in the
Oh,
whole
I believe
series.
that was also a big issue, was the lighting and trying to fit the boom in, because there were so many people talking.
When we were using these giant photo floods in the backyard, so we have cables running all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my thought here, and a lot of people have asked me about this, is Dottie is absorbing power from him. Dottie is kind of like a generator. She gets warmed up and warmed up and warmed up and warmed up, and then she can do things that she doesn't know about, like this, which is she blasts a hole in Irving, basically, through to
The backstage.
the backstage area. And that is actually, I will say it right here, this is what happens to Irving in this episode, is a hole is punched through him, through reality, to the backstage area, and he sort of falls through it.
Okay.
And that's what happened to Irving. So, there you go. You heard
In
it
case
from
you
me.
were wondering.
And will we ever see him again? Who knows?
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
What I love is, and I had this conversation with Dave. I'm not sure if this is what he intended, but I refer to Dottie after this moment as a supervillain, which I think is really kind of cool, because it's exploring into something else in the supernatural, which is somebody who has special abilities, and her ability is to be able to send and receive energy, massive amounts of energy, and I just think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a great development of an evil character, because at the beginning she's very sweet. She's the girl next door.
The slut next door.
Oh,
She's the slut next door.
Okay, look, you just went ahead and said it. Right?
just had to go over there.
I
and
did.
say it.
I went there.
Michelle was trying to be nice. Dottie Parker is really upset right now.
She's crying herself to sleep. She might blow a hole through you.
Well,
That would be cool. If the character came to life and blew a hole through you.
that would be very frightening, but interesting and scary. I really like Mark's moment here, and Lonnie's just been through hell with all this stuff. He had to pull a gun on someone. He's had this gun forever, but he had to pull it. And
She had to use it.
he thanks Irving for this, but at the same time, it's like you're proud of me. Well, great. And here's my return performance as was I Franklin or Rick?
Franklin.
Franklin.
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
And I gotta tell you, I keep
Lieutenant.
wanting to straighten your glasses.
Well, they're crooked. I like that.
I know.
And
Drives me
I based the look off of Gary Oldman in Batman Begins. The Commissioner Gordon.
Fantastic movie.
Must have been from
What?
the stress of being caught.
What?
No, I was just gonna say. Now, are those your glasses? I know you got those glasses.
No, those are mine because
Okay.
Pat had a pair that he wore on set for some reason.
Yeah, Patrick Pantelis, who
He
directed,
episode 2. And then I
You were just like, I want
I
those.
loved
I
them.
need those. I need
And
that for my character.
I thought they were so much fun, and so I went out and bought a pair for Lieutenant Glenn here.
But now a man is dead and there's a body in the ground.
And this was
What's
very tough
the
for me.
button?
The button is actually it's Serenity, written in Chinese characters. It's a leftover from my brown coat days.
Very
the
nice.
Firefly brown coats.
I was actually just watching that earlier today.
This is great here. I think my favorite moment of my entire performance in this series is the taking off the glasses and just watching Lonnie hang himself with this one.
It wasn't loaded, and I don't even think I can be fired. So I'm not going to get arrested for that.
This was hard to do. I think I passed it off to you. I said, Mike, you direct me here because I don't know what I'm doing on set. And the best part is there's a light right next to them. So when both Brian and
they
Mark
walk right
leave,
into the light.
they walk and they bend over so they're no longer in the shot, but they are standing right there for this scene. And Angela just plays catatonic and angry better than anyone else. I think we see that in Sleep to Dream, another fine CMGM
I
project
gotta
that's
stop doing that to her.
available on
Aw.
DVD this Christmas. Just like Irving Renquist Ghost Hunter on DVD. Share it. Excellent
Not
Christmas
plugging
present.
at all.
We're plugging the show. That
And this
They're
before it's
hopefully
even
watching.
this is why it's
Because
okay
they
for
want-
Irving
Exactly.
to fall into the backstage area. Is he is a prick. Irving has always been a prick, and
Well,
here is
yeah,
where he
he
shows
screwed Sandra
what
over.
a prick he is. Because him I mean, the cops told him that they didn't need him tonight, so he goes home. I mean, her dad's dead. She has no other family in the area, and she's probably going to go to jail. But they're going to go home and have a drink or
Yep.
go out to eat. He's a real prick. Oh.
it's choice.
Yeah.
It is a choice. It
Well,
is a
and he
choice.
dumped my butt.
Yes, he did.
Jerk face. I switched
I
careers for him.
think the way I saw Irving too is Irving once it's not so much a mystery anymore. He's
not
really
interested. Yeah.
yeah.
And especially now that the mystery is clearly over, because
like,
I mean we know what happened now. And Dottie's fury with him is something we were thinking of revisiting if we had ever made a second season. And it still may happen, maybe someday, years from now, where Dottie comes back for revenge for the boy who revealed her father's murderous habits and ruined her life, basically. And now we're back at my house, an easy set for me because then I just go up to bed afterwards. And but this was another hot day of shooting, and
Nothing else. Irving, we discovered a
this is
body
the
of
wrap up
arson.
for the series.
We actually used ghost hunting to
Here's where we explain what happened and why it's okay that we did all this stuff to this poor girl.
Aw. Yeah, there's a. I noticed. I was looking at the forums earlier today, and there's a bit of an argument about whether or not people should watch the show because he's not a good ghost hunter. And I think that we've never tried to represent him as a good ghost hunter. Going back to what we said about him being a prick, as soon as the mystery is revealed, he's not interested anymore. So it's a character. You gotta love the character.
This here is my uncle Richard Fredrickson, who had a radio show for a long time and was the inspiration for me to make Whiteout, actually. So he was very gracious in coming onto this project, and he went into a radio recording studio to do his half of this conversation. And Marcus Fulgham is based on Art Bell and George Norrie from the Coast to Coast AM show, just the paranormal stuff. And I really like that Julia did this for Irving. She called and said, listen, Irving would love to talk about this. And this was my big theory back then, was that there are these gateways around the world that are powerful
Lonnie.
points, and Lonnie is completely in love with Julia.
Oh,
Of
it's
course,
so
and
cute.
It is very cute, but I couldn't leave without revisiting the Christine Kelby story in the most vague and scary way possible. I think I could have. Look at my Netflix envelopes over there on the
Very nice.
on the left.
What was inside?
I don't know. I don't know. There were 3 of them though.
I believe they were movies.
Yeah,
Really?
I second that.
I'm a smart
Emotion.
ass.
And this is my label on the Peppercorn Palace record.
What is it, Julia?
I love that we have the 2 stories going on at the same time. You know, too. It's the Irving thing and this Julia thing.
What happened to Irving?
And that's a great shot, by the way, Mike. I really like that one.
Why, thank you.
Nice job. Excellent. And this one too.
Very nice.
I'm a big fan of cliffhangers, and I thought, well, what better way to end the series than eliminating the main characters in some fashion? There was a take where they opened that door and Christine's laying on the bed, which was a fun little outtake.
It was a choice.
It was great. So that's Irving Renquist Ghost Hunter. It was a tremendously fun series, and also at the same time, it was one of the most difficult things we've ever done, simply because it took a very long time, and it took a very long time to edit and do all the final stuff. Michelle, would you like to wrap up anything about your looking back on this adventure?
I guess I just want to say that it was a really interesting experiment, and I think it paid off really well. It was tough. At times we all wanted to kill each other, but I'm really proud of it.
When we had a lot of positive response to it. A lot of the ghost hunting crowd and the paranormal enthusiasts were really excited about it, because it's something that portrays a lot of what ghost hunting really is, which is tedium and and all that.